That.
Do you know, initially, I was hot.
I
was just like, because I feel like they didn't watch the whole video without actually hearing our conversation.
Yeah.
And if people were to know my point of view,
yeah,
they would actually understand that I'm not biased. I'm genuinely understanding of both sides.
Yeah,
but my thing is integrity and just giving a good service at the end of the day.
Like saying that just after 2 months of dating, Thomas cheated on her. A part of me is disappointed that my friend would accept to be treated this way and marry the guy.
I might offend her when really I'm not thinking in that way.
Let's get into it. So, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Bride's Room. We are back. Yay. We're back again. I've lost count of how many I can't keep losing counts. And to be honest, I don't know what episode it is. And by the time this comes out, I don't know what day of the month or what time of the year it will be. But welcome back anyway. Welcome back to all my... You know what? Forget that. I'll re-edit this bit. But welcome back. And today we are welcoming back the one and only Saffie. Yay! We don't have Les today, so we're going to have to cheer ourselves on.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back, Saffie. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back.
I'm happy to be here.
I feel like a part 2 was needed.
For sure. Well, to be fair, we said we were going to do part 2 from part 1. From the get-go. We were like, yeah.
So we're here now.
Yeah, we're here.
Before we get into it, obviously, some people already know who you are, but for those that are joining us for the first time, just a brief introduction as to who you are would be helpful, I guess.
Okay. Why is that hard?
I don't know.
That's a bit hard. I feel like I'm tooting my own horn in this
sorry,
one.
I'm doing intros, so forget that. Okay,
did I do it last time?
Huh?
Did I do it last time?
No, you didn't. You did it last, and that's because I'm not with it.
No, as in, did I introduce myself as in say I'm this and I'm that? I don't think
you didn't really. I just said you don't really need to do that. But guys, Saffie was here. She was back. She was here on episode 3. She gave us the tea on one of her vendors.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, a teeny weeny bit.
Yeah.
And the vendors were going crazy saying that, so this
you had a mini viral moment.
Yeah, a mini viral moment.
You had a mini viral moment.
And
with
that was hilarious because you know what I actually found funny was the fact that some of the vendors in the comments were saying that 4K is too cheap.
Skin.
Did you see that?
I did.
How did you feel seeing that?
Do you know, initially, I was hot.
I
was just like, because I feel like they didn't watch the whole video.
Yeah, clearly.
And whoever it was, whoever the person was, she took the snippet of the video.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was a great opportunity for that particular vendor to vent. You know, like when you're when you're trying to be professional, because not everyone's professional.
Yeah.
You don't want to start talking about about your actual clients.
Yeah.
So when you see something small, you're triggered. I feel like she was triggered. She
Definitely.
was like, I saw one girl complaining about her.
Yeah.
How can you say that when you don't even know my package?
Yeah, it's true.
You don't know my package.
It's true.
You don't know if I even had tables decorated. You don't even know what comes on the table. Because let's be honest, vendors, there's levels to bookings.
It's true.
Depending on what you put on the table, it depends on the price.
It's true.
Depends on how big your backdrop is, depends on the price. Depends on how many flowers. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
are they bringing chair covers?
Yeah.
Are they bringing, do you see what I mean? So I feel like the energy and the vim that came was very uncalled for, but I do feel like it was a necessary conversation.
Yeah.
Just not off the back of me.
Yeah, I get it. I get
Yeah.
You know what? I do get both sides of the... Do I really get both sides? To be fair, I'm biased as the bride's room, so I'm always going to get from the POV of the bride.
Yeah.
I saw it as like just an opportunity to just join in the conversation, to be honest. I don't know what the agenda was there, to be fair.
I feel like, do you know, contrary to what people might think, because obviously I feel like a lot of people saw the video for the wrong reasons because they heard about the conversation and the back and forths and the viral part on TikTok of people sort of almost like vendors versus brides.
Yeah.
People got onto the conversation on that end without actually hearing our conversation.
Yeah.
And if people were to know my point of view, they would actually understand that I'm not biased. I'm genuinely understanding of both sides.
Yeah,
but my thing is integrity and just giving a good service at the end of the day. Like, I understand that things happen as a vendor. I understand the creativity that comes behind it. I don't even, like, first of all, I would not have agreed to do the service with the lady if I didn't think 4K. If I didn't think 4K. See, being a bride, you think that I only see from the bride's perspective, but I do understand what the vendors are saying. I just feel like there is a way in which you just have to run a business. It is what it is. Like, clients are going to be annoying. And I think when I was reflecting on everything, a little analogy came to me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I actually feel like when I was hot.
You're like, thank you, Holy Spirit.
Because I was hot. I was thinking, me.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Do you see what I mean? But then I was like, when I thought about the analogy, I was like, do you know what? If you were to think about leather shoes, let's give an example of bags and shoes, right?
Yeah.
We've got Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
I might not pronounce it properly, but you know, top brand, Gucci, whatever. They're selling designer stuff. They're selling things at 2K, 3K, 4K. The price is up. For a bag, a leather bag. But you can go Russell and Bromley and get a leather bag.
Right? 100% leather is leather. Well, but there's levels to it.
There's levels to it, but there's a name attached to it also, is there not? 100%. So I think when you use that analogy, you understand that a vendor can choose the level they want to be at.
100%.
So you as a vendor, just because you're charging 10K, 15K, and there's someone else who's charging less, don't knock their hustle. They're not there yet. They're not only are they not there yet, they might be there yet, they might not, but you don't know the package.
Exactly.
And it doesn't change the fact that Russell and Bromley is still going to give you a good service and they're still going to give you good leather shoes. They're not going to give you knockoff leather. Do you see what I mean? They're still going to give you, durable. And they're going to give it to you for £80.
No,
whereas LV might give it to you for 2K. Do you see what I mean? And when I use that analogy, it helps me to understand that the argument is irrelevant.
But let's give context, because some people didn't actually see the response. So the response was that you should have known. Obviously, they refer to the bride. The bride, in this case, you being you, should have known that it wasn't going to be. It was a scam.
It was not going to be a good service because 4K. And no, I think that's wrong.
I think that's cap.
I think that's so wrong. I think that's so wrong when you don't know my package. You don't know what's supposed to be on the table.
To be honest, I don't even think we need to know. Somebody, at the end of the day, you are a business. Did you provide the service that you were going to provide? Yes or no? If it's yes, great, happy days. If it's no, then question.
And you picked your price.
You need to answer the question.
You picked your price.
So it's not. I don't. This whole. There doesn't need to be an explanation. Somebody did not meet the service that they said they were going to provide.
Exactly.
And so we have the right as customers to vent,
to be upset. And I feel like I was respectful.
You know, and I feel like we're even being very
respectful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because we're not going to BBC News and saying, breaking news.
And you know, it wasn't my intention to actually put the vendor on blast for the people that are DMing
but
me.
You weren't putting her, but you weren't.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention to do that because I understand things go wrong. I just feel like it could have been handled way better by this particular vendor. But also, there was a lot of mishaps. I feel like when you're doing planning, things are not always going to be perfect. There was so many different mishaps, but overall, it was good. And some of the mishaps were just like, do you know what? We managed it in a particular way. Do you see what I mean? But one thing for certain is it's always going to be my experience. So if we're talking about what happened or talking about weddings in general, I cannot brush past the fact that that was a massive impact because I look at my pictures and my videos and that's what I see. And that was just down to poor service, poor management. That's all it was. Nothing to do with price. So yeah, just to clear that up.
Yeah, no.
And watch part 1.
Yeah, literally watch part 1 because I think we went, you were being just very honest. That literally was your experience. So that's that. I think, to be honest, I spoke about this on the podcast with Rose, and even Rose thought it was a weird clapback. It's like, it's not the whole price in question, that shouldn't even be part of the conversation.
not at all.
Why did the vendor not do what they said they were going to do?
I think they were triggered. And I think with as
But
a,
you know,
yeah,
sorry,
go on.
just to add,
Yeah.
because even the people that were speaking were planners, when it's like, respectfully, planners, this conversation is not for you. This is for brides that plan this platform.
Oh, really?
It's for brides
See,
that
I'm
plan.
not on Twitter, so I don't know who was doing all the talking.
So this was on,
I don't know.
I saw on Instagram, like someone like the coordinators,
Yeah.
planners were having their
Yeah.
2 pence. And I think it's amazing that everyone is jumping in on the conversation. I think the more we understand where people's mindsets are, good or bad,
Yeah.
the more we can, well, the sooner we can, you know, find a middle ground between vendors and couples.
Is there a middle ground that needs to be found?
No, not really. Not really.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think people just need to do better. And I was saying this as well.
Yeah.
So this is a nice segue into even the topic of this week. So
Right.
when it was your episode, we were all about decorators. Someone even messaged me and said that they had their decorator run away on their wedding day.
That's sad.
You know
so
how
sorry
rough
for
that
you.
is?
I'm
like,
sorry,
why? Vendors,
girl.
like, why? We see you. I want you
Why?
guys to know that we see you, because I think a lot of this has been happening for probably a long time, but
Yeah.
there hasn't
really
been any
been
platforms
a
or any
platform.
complaints.
Yeah.
So people just like so happily married, they just move
Yeah.
on. But we see you. We really do see you. But anyway, moving on from the decorators, there was a whole topic of discussion about MCs this week as well, and about the 500 pounds. Did you see that?
I didn't know. I'm not on
Girl,
Twitter, so
where you at?
I'm not seeing all the. I feel like there's just too much going on. Instagram is loud.
You know
TikTok
what?
is
To be
loud.
fair, I'm just very
I
much
can't keep up.
in the whole wedding thing. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
So what's happening?
So let me tell you the tea. So for those of you that don't know Saffie,
Okay, go on.
What happened this week? So a video was released out from another podcast called saying that gone are the days where MCs charge £500. You know, that's just not their price anymore, and that they do way more than what people ask of them and stuff. And so everyone was like very much in shock, saying that, you know, like, like, why are MCs even charging anything more than £500? And like you said, I think people can charge whatever they want, but I do think there needs to be some sort of like
cut-off point.
Let's apply common sense because. Before I go any further, what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm not going to quote verbatim, but basically this particular MC was saying, gone are the days where MCs charge £500. We are worth way more than that, basically. He didn't say any price, but he just said more than £500. What's your views on that?
What's my view? I think as not just the bride, I'll take away the bride elements. I feel like if I speak as a bride, it's going to be kind of like expected. I'm going to speak as a creative.
Yeah.
As a creative, we need to put some respect on creatives. Yeah. And I say this, and it sounds like it's contradictory to before.
Everything that you're saying. Yeah.
But it's not, because I strongly understand why decorating could potentially be
100%.
the price is going to be. If it's going to be 10K, good on you,
sense.
sis. Like, great. Like, at the end of the day, I have a choice to book you or not.
Yeah.
If an MC is going to charge 10K, maybe I might not book you, but you have a market. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with people growing their brand to a place where they have a market, because there are people that can sing probably better than Beyonce who are not getting booked as much. You get to a certain stage, your name is loud. Do what you need to do. And if I can't afford you, then I won't book you. And that's it. But I do feel like in general, things have gone up. We're in a crisis.
We are in a crisis.
And I do also understand that you have to hold the room, that the entertainment element, the DJ, all of those things make the wedding, like, add to the whole ambiance. So even where I had the decorating situation, overall, it was still beautiful. It was still a beautiful day. Even though I had mishaps in other places, entertainment brought it back together. Music was good. That's the thing that's going to keep people going. The energy, the coordination, that element. So I do feel like there should be a bit of respect on their name. As for pricing, I'm just going to stand by saying that. If you want to, charge that much, charge that much. Who am I to say, how dare you? Because it's the same conversation with hairstylists.
Yeah.
Like, why are people charging? Why are people charging 2K?
No, we're going to get.
Do you see what I mean?
Soon.
It's the same conversation with everything. And I feel like if you're in the wedding industry, this is what I'm seeing anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it as a bride, I'm saying it as a creative and as a business person.
Yeah.
If you stick to because it doesn't take me more than 10 minutes to do this, and I only live down the road, so I can just come. If you do that, you're selling yourself short considering what the rest of the market is doing. So when I look at it that way, I kind of don't blame them, because if you're going into an industry like the hair industry, there's a lot of new hairstylists, and this is outside of weddings. Just in general, I feel like I see a lot of hairstylists, new ones, who are coming out, and their starting price is not less than their starting price is not low anymore. You're not gonna catch.
So this is my thing, and this is, as much as I agree with you, and also as well, I do see things as a business owner. I do somebody that consistently sees Black people's salary for a living. That's what I do.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people are not getting paid that much, like respectfully, not in a rude way, but we're not getting paid that much. Like when we compare ourselves to our white counterparts, that's just the world that we live in. What frustrates me is that these same vendors that we talk about, because obviously I am a Black woman. So of course, when you look at my wedding, a lot of my vendors were Black as well, just because of some of the things that I needed. The people that you're marketing to, most of them we're literally saying to you, we can't afford this. We're not just complaining because we want to be cheap. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't have £500 to just throw away because, like, I'm so rich. Let me just, it's a luxury for us, some of us. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think, yes, if you want to be a luxurious, go and market to like the Jeff Bezoses of the world then. If that is your, do you know what I mean?
I think
you're marketing to the wrong people. That's my angle.
But they start, some of them they come from down the road.
You need to understand your target audience's pockets.
Fair enough. But what I think, I don't know if they would necessarily say that certain people are their target. How do I say it? They fell into people's laps. But what I would say is, if you're going to charge a certain amount, give the full service. That's my thing.
Okay,
that's my thing.
And I agree with
Make it fully professional. I don't think I have an issue with the price they're going to charge, because for me, if it's not within my budget, or if it's not something I want to subscribe to, I just won't.
Okay,
do you see what I mean?
I'm definitely like,
just do it properly.
Literally.
Have a website.
I'm on both. Do you get it?
Have a website. Have an email. Okay. No, I hear you.
That's my thing. Like, how much does Prosecco cost? £6 out of that £600 that we gave you. You're not gonna die if you send me Prosecco.
Just be creative. If you're gonna
be creative, send me a little package. Can't wait to host on your wedding day. I don't know, just send me something.
Don't just have an Instagram
account, take the
and
payment.
That's it,
hey, I'm your MC on the day, or whoever it is. And then you go home, no debrief after, no pictures, no nothing, nothing to make me feel special or feel like this is an experience.
Yeah, it needs to be an experience.
I'm very much like an experienced babe. Yeah. It doesn't take much. And I'm sure, especially most brides, we're away with the fairies already. It doesn't take much to gas brides. Like, it can literally be like, oh, I'm your hairdresser. Here's a branded hairband for being my bride and choosing my services. Do you know what I mean? I think when you're picking out a new car, even like, I know you like a designer or whatever. So like, you get a new handbag, or you're going to the designer store and they sit you down, they give you a nice cold glass of Prosecco. It doesn't take much to just make people feel like they are having a luxury experience.
I hear you, especially if you're given a luxury price. I do get that part. Yeah, 100%.
So that's my view on it. Obviously, I was a little bit frustrated because my frustration, mine was going to be from the POV of the bride.
Yeah.
It did trigger me because I remember engaging with like one of like the higher end MCs. At the time, I didn't know there was levels to this.
Yeah.
When I was starting, and I remember getting quoted like 2.6K for MCing at the time. So yes, your price is your price, but it's not.
So what are the people saying? Are people
so
online,
people this is the thing. So people that haven't planned a wedding are very much taken back, and they're like, £500 is just way too much. It's just way generous.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that part, to be fair. I do think £500 is fair. I was going back and forth as well in the comments as well. I love this. I think it's fair. You don't think it's fair? But hear me out though. So the argument was from one of the professionals was that what was the argument? That they have to entertain and they also sometimes have to coordinate. And it's like, oh, I hear you, but as somebody, I speak for myself, I do feel like you should charge people extra if you do have to end up coordinating.
That gets messy in the end though, don't you think?
But that's not the MC's problem.
But that happens quite a bit though.
That's the problem of the bride and groom. If you decide to be disorganized, then that's what you're going to get, disorganized. I do feel like
if I was a coordinator, the price is going to be up from the beginning, just because I
Coordinator,
know,
coordinator
not
or
coordinator, sorry,
MC?
an MC,
Yeah.
because I know that if I try and charge you extra at the end, just, your
No, but I
market.
think it's just like when you have the because they say they have to do consultations.
Consultation.
It's Google Hangout. That's free, first of all. You're not paying for nothing there. But anyway,
Okay.
I rest my like you said,
Yeah.
people can charge whatever they want, right? But we're having a consultation. This is what I would do. Me personally, I would ask, have you paid for it? Have you got a paid coordinator? Not family or friend or auntie,
But I've heard
big
of paid
mummies.
coordinators that ain't done their bit.
Well, that's between the bride and the groom.
Yeah, I have heard. So yeah,
But I hear it. You know what? I'm not here to say, oh, it's too much. Because to be fair, I spent the money and I do value things, but I just feel like people should just review what they're actually giving people for their money.
Yeah. To be fair, the price is going up for everything. That's just like right now, life right
it's
now.
Not like, because remember, the couple have to fork up the piece for the sound equipment. So it's not like you're bringing your own special razzle dazzle microphone. Or did your MC bring his own mic?
I think the DJ does that part.
Exactly,
I thought the
DJ
DJ
you're paying
would.
for that. You're already paying for that
DJ
extraness
would.
on the DJ side of things. They're just saying they have to iron their suit, and it's like, okay, cool, but why is that my problem?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That's like,
I think it's just the key one.
Huh?
I know that the MCs are gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah, they're gonna have. I know, and I'm in the comments definitely.
I get it. I personally get it just as a creative element. As a bride, seeing certain prices, I'm gonna be like, but I'm gonna stick to what I can afford.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know this conversation?
You go on.
With that conversation, do you know what? It's kind of like off topic, but not. But you're gonna experience the same thing when you're planning the first birthday. Just letting you know.
Oh, is it?
Just letting you know.
I've already started anyway, but we never.
No, because the vendors, the MCs, it crosses over.
The same thing. Yeah,
it crosses over.
So this is my frustration. So sorry, I don't think I'm not the best at articulating myself, but this is my problem. It goes back to what you were saying about hairdressers entering the game. How are you that you just entered yesterday charging the same as somebody that has built a name for themselves and done this for like 10, 15 years. That's where I get really frustrated, because the whole argument of what you've just said as well is like, find somebody within your budget. I can't.
Okay, I get what you mean. I can't. They're just overdoing it.
Everyone is trying to be equal, and that's where it becomes frustrating, and that's why I say we need to regulate the industry. But that's not.
But this is also why
anyway,
platforms like this are good.
Yeah,
because, and I know you've had people. I saw on your page you posted someone saying you need to be more balanced.
Yeah, no,
stop show. It's it's too much negative. But I think the truth is, out there online, there's already enough beautiful pictures of weddings. There's already the gorgeous things.
Fluffy.
Yeah. So we need to have platforms like this, because the only way it's going to get regulated is by these conversations. And I say this because through these conversations, people are going to realize that, okay, cool, this is what's happening out here. I think through conversations on Instagram, TikTok, with people saying hairstylists are taking the P, X, Y, and Z.
Decorators are running away.
So now people are going back to Peckham hairdressers.
Do you get it?
Do you see what I mean? There's alternatives.
I went back to Auntie today. So.
Do you see what I mean?
I am a part of them.
Yeah,
I'm a part of them.
And
you lot are doing it to yourselves, because should the game change tomorrow and then the government now step in and they say, okay, the max you can charge is £15 an hour, you guys are going to start crying. So the thing is, people should just start, just review. Just, am I marketing to the right people? Also as well, because yes, I also as a person need to go and find the right vendor for myself. But also when I go on your page, let me make sure that the people that I'm seeing, they don't look like me, or they don't live the same type of lifestyle as me, because then I would think that your service for me. But anyway, I don't want to drag out this topipic anymore. But charge what you want, but just, just enhance the service. Just give it a little vavavoom, a little, something,
Something.
A little something. Anyway, let's get into my favorite part of the podcast. Oh, I'm so excited for today's dilemma. For those of you that don't know, this is my favorite part of my podcast. It's called Read the Room. This is where we read your dilemmas about everything from life to family to friends, bridezillas, vendors. Everything really. We know that wedding planning is a very stressful time, especially if you are a bride, but just even as a couple as well. So we're just here to give our 2 pence really, and just be a soundboard. And today we got Saffie giving her 2 pence. I feel like, let's just get into it. So this is just titled Dilemma. There's no title for this one. This one's called Dilemma. Let's do it again. Dilemma. Hi, hon. Love your show. I have a dilemma I need to share with you. Before my friend got engaged, let's call her Michelle, she dated her now fiance, let's call him Thomas. Things were going well until one day she called saying that just after 2 months of dating, Thomas cheated on her. She went on to say she went through his phone and saw that he was adding random girls on Snapchat and sending thirst traps. He also met up with a lady at a club, brought her home, and had sex. When confronted, he denied. To cut the story short, after his endless tears and sob stories, my friend took him back, and now they get married in a couple of months. A part of me is disappointed that my friend would accept to be treated this way and marry the guy. She's having her bridal shower soon, and to be honest, I don't even want to go. What should I be celebrating? How can I celebrate something that is so against my values? Yes, she is happy and all, and I want to be happy, but I can't bring myself to see her fiancé in a good light. I dislike her partner for ever stepping out and just giving her a makeup ring to patch things up. Ladies, am I tripping? What would you do if you were in my situation? Take care, Anonymous. Woo.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's not a good start.
It's not a good start, but
I wonder.
So, disclaimer, it is a messy dilemma, but just to disclaim, it's not a marriage podcast, guys. I just want to reiterate, but we're always going to give advice from the wedding side of things and then what to do as, I guess. I mean, she hasn't been asked yet, but it seems that she's probably going to be a bridesmaid.
She's probably going to have to plan the bridal shower.
That kind of thing.
Be quite hands-on.
What would you do? Have you been in a situation like that before?
No, I haven't actually.
How?
Do you know what? I feel like, with relationships and issues, this is where it becomes sticky when you share your problems with your friends. Because your friend is not going to forgive that guy. Ever. They've got a tainted image of him and they're not going to be able to go past that. Whereas you might be able to look past certain things. And that becomes challenging moving forward. Like she's perplexed.
We're now at the crossroads.
Perplexed. And do you know, for me, I'll just have to support my friend. I can give her my honest opinion and say, I think you deserve better. Do you know what? I haven't been in that scenario, but I have been in scenarios where I'm just like, I don't rate him. I don't feel like this is it. But I'm also not going to be the friend that's going to like cut you off because you're still with him or I can't keep, do you know what I mean? Like, am I going to die?
I used to be like that when I was younger. So like, I learnt my lesson actually. So just let me share a little story actually behind this as to why I would do what I do now.
Okay.
So I used to be that friend when I was probably early 20s. I used to be that friend very much that's like, oh my God, like, why are you with him? Like, girl, you deserve better.
I
like,
saw him with another girl.
I might not do that. But actually, no, you know what? Actually, would I do that? No, if I had receipts, I would definitely do that. I would do that. But if I didn't have receipts, then, sit my ass
But if
down.
you saw him,
I'd be like, babe, like just double checking everything is good, kind of thing. Until one day, I nearly got my ass beat by the guy. Yeah. I'm saying it on the podcast. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was a very disheartening experience, and my friend did it back for me, unfortunately.
Are you still friends with her?
No, of course not. No.
Yeah, that's deep.
I'm definitely not going to be. I was looking out for you. And
but that's what happens sometimes when you interfere and you've got good intentions.
Yeah,
and you want
clean.
The best for them.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do.
Exactly. And it's for you to mind your business all the way.
Because really, no marriage or relationship is perfect.
Exactly.
That's number one. For certain, there's going to be ups and downs. Obviously, I can read that on paper and be like, no, oh my gosh, and give my 2 pence. It doesn't read well.
Yeah.
But if you was to tell me what happened between, do you know what I mean? I'm gonna.
But let's be real. Sorry to cut you
off.
Go
on.
I also, as well, though, have been in a position where like I've absolutely hated my friend's man.
Okay.
Not like from the bottom of my, hate is quite a strong word, but like you said, like I just don't approve. You. Yeah, like I remember like I've never even had a conversation with one of like, this was like a friend of a friend. Guy basically blocked me and I've never interacted with him before, but like he wanted to isolate my friend so much that like he ended up like blocking me or my friends, like cussing us to her. It's just like, but I don't actually know you. Like, do you know what I mean? And in that case, obviously, because I don't know you, I don't care, but I just don't rate you. So now, if my friend was to come forward and actually say, I'm trying to think how I can say the story. Maybe I'm going to have to cut this bit out.
Can I say something as well? I just thought of something. If, as much as I'm saying that I will have to respect the fact that she's making this decision, it doesn't change the fact that I'm not going to speak on the facts of on my views to a degree. I'm going to read the room. I'm going to apply wisdom when it comes. That's one thing I'm going to do. It's not, there's no black and white answer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try and apply wisdom when speaking to her about certain things. But when domestic abuse becomes a thing and we're talking about life is in danger and we're talking about like you're genuinely being hurt here. It's a different kind of
That's
like I'm not gonna drag you out of it, but I'm gonna have to be so real with you because no, you're literally not a punching bag.
Yeah, so, that part. So to be fair, so long as there's none of that, then I personally would, as much as I don't want to do it, if I was a bridesmaid for my friend and she seems to love this guy and she seems to have it in her heart, I will just have to support my friend.
You have to be happy for them.
I don't know. It's hard, especially if you're a real bitch.
So hard.
It's so hard.
Would you speak to the guy?
No, I don't. I think I would actually just have to do bare minimum in this position. And I've seen it, you know. I've actually seen. I don't know. We're currently in this generation now where like everyone is getting engaged. I tell when the bridesmaids, when they're not pulling their weight, usually either because the bride herself is bad vibes or maybe they don't like the guy in this case.
Or maybe they just ain't great friends.
But yeah, they're not great friends. But I do think in this case, okay, so what would be my advice to this girl? My advice to this girl would be to still support your friend because at the end of the day, it's a massive milestone in her world. She's going to have to see for herself when she's ready. So long as there's none of the, you know, extreme stuff, she's going to have to see for herself when that time comes.
That's so mad.
Yeah, whenever
because marriage is for life. Well, that's the plan.
Grace,
That's the plan when you go down the aisle.
Course. And we're hoping
to sign the dotted lines and to learn a lesson at the end. It's just mad.
But let's hope that there isn't a lesson to learn.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some people get lucky and there isn't a lesson to learn. But I think
I would say definitely speak to your friend about how you feel.
But this sounds like someone that has probably spoken to her.
Yeah, she sounds stressed.
Tired.
Yeah.
Girl, you're going to have to support. You're going to have to dance. You know those TikToks when they said, me eating jollof rice and dancing? Have you ever seen that? My thing is, support your friend because if you don't, then she's just going to be isolated and then she's going to feel a lot more worse.
Yeah.
You're also going to be at risk of looking like a hater as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you yourself are not engaged or married or anything like that. Yeah. It's very easy to fall into the, she's a hater.
I'll say definitely have a down to, you probably have been speaking to her, so I'm not saying you haven't, but have a serious conversation. I would. Okay. To say, almost like put everything in one conversation, saying, I support you, I love you, I really care about you. You know how I feel about him. This is the scenario. It's really difficult for me to see you as a friend because I see you as my sister. Like for you to be going through and this with him, and I know you might have patched it, but it still has left some sort of residue in my mind, and I worry. But I trust you're making the best decision. But I want you to know that I'm not like fully, convinced about him. However, I support you because even when things go left, if they do, if they don't, your friend knows your position.
Exactly.
She knows she knows you care about her. She knows you support her, but she also doesn't want you to get hurt, kind of thing. Yeah. So you put all your cards down, but respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully. That's the most.
I think that's good advice. Definitely have the conversation. Show that you still show up because I do think that's what friendship is about. I do think as well we are adults now, so people are entitled to do whatever they want, even if you do or don't agree as well. And I think sometimes it's hard as well if on the outside looking in, you kind of know what the right answer is. You kind of just have to leave people to sometimes just do what they want. Yeah, it is hard.
Because she's going to have to interact with him.
But I don't think it's by force.
It's not by force, but
anyway.
I don't think it's by force. But during the wedding process, if you're a friend if you're a best friend or close friend, maybe even stuff like, what do you think I should get her? He might ask her. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Did your friends ask your husband about rings and stuff like that?
I don't know about rings. I don't know.
Even like when you do the link
up.
But like
the bridal shower
link up between the bridesmaids and the groomsmen, there is going to be, even if it's not me and you are pally friends, there is going to be that sort of interaction, which is probably going to be awkward, but just compose yourself.
Yeah, or just use another bridesmaid in the party to support, depending on what role you are. But girl, all I would say is support your friend, love your friend, don't leave her because it's a massive milestone in her world. It definitely is going to be bad, but I'm sure loads of people are in the situation as well anyway. So it is what it is, really. That's what I would say personally. But that is a very...
That's mad.
That's mad.
Yeah. I think we could do next one now.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
I think we definitely stretch that
very,
one.
very. Hi, Aisha. This is not necessarily a dilemma so much, but this is a question I have in mind. How much did you include your in-laws in the wedding planning? My male cousin got married over the summer, and his mum and my aunt seemed very hurt that she was barely included in the process. My question is to you, how much did you include your future in-laws? I don't want anyone to be upset, but I also think it'll be easier to bounce ideas around with my mum, sister, and grandma because I know them better. And I'm obviously more comfortable with them. And once again, this one is from Anonymous, no name. What's your thoughts?
She said, Aisha, how much did you?
How much did you?
How much
She
did
questioned
you?
me.
She's talking about you.
Okay, so from
Tell
my
us.
experience, to be fair, my in-laws were quite, they are quite calm. So, and I found it a lot more easier when I compare it to like my friends or people that I know of that are like fully Nigerian, because obviously I'm Nigerian. So those that are just from the same country, I think it's a lot more harder.
Okay, so your husband's from
Uganda.
Okay.
I'm Nigerian.
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because I'm Sierra Leonean and my husband's Nigerian. So, it's not the same as two Nigerians.
Exactly.
Or
two Nigerians or being the female, which is from a very dominant culture, to the male family. So I found with my in-laws, I had to forcefully try and include them in my process.
Oh, as in they were so chilled out that
they were so chilled. Whereas like with us, like just culturally, everyone has either seen, known of, or whatever. You just know about Nigerian weddings or just know about Nigerians as a whole. And so for me, I just didn't want to come across as like, that's how we do it. Because we have like 100 steps.
A lot of steps. Yeah, you guys have a lot of
steps, 100 ways, you guys kneeling down, talking.
Yeah, the tradition is deep.
It's very deep.
Yeah, it's deep.
So to answer her question, I did find, though, I don't think there's anything wrong with just leaning on your side of the family because you're not married to the man yet, if that makes sense. But I get everyone does it differently as well. And it depends on how long you've known them and how integrated you are with the family and stuff. I found that like it was just easy for me to also lean on my mum.
She said her aunt was upset. So my question is, where was her son? Is it her cousin? So I'm guessing her cousin's a boy.
Yeah, I guess so. And
so what was he doing?
You know what? Some men can be very relaxed.
No, let's not do that. We need to be a bridge. It shouldn't be uneven. Let's build a bridge.
Mirror each other. Yeah,
let's build a bridge to make each side comfortable. Do you see what I mean? Because what you don't want to do is enter a marriage with offense.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing an offense because it taints it. As much as the marriage is you and your husband, it's not. Yeah. Let's be for real. Yeah. Especially, I feel like people always used to say that to me before I got married. With
the planning side, though.
In general, not just planning. I'm talking about just in general. People say your wedding is, or just not just your wedding, your marriage, or just in general is you and your husband and his family. It's not just you and your partner. And I used to think, how though? It's my wedding, but planning it, I realized how much family is. It's not just me and you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's our families are becoming one. So for her to feel that way, it makes me question what was her cousin doing to help build that bridge to where, because I understand why she would want to just keep it with her people, but there's ways in which of including her a little bit just to give her that. Do you see what I mean? Like you don't have to go the extra mile.
How we did it, or how I think it should be done. Yeah. I did it, and I think this brought the most peace for me personally, was that like we would agree on everything and then we would agree on what we would both communicate back out to everybody. Because you have family members that feel very, very entitled. It might not just be the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom or the father. Like you could just have one random uncle wake up tomorrow and say, hey, how come you guys haven't communicated the venue details to me? And it's like, whoa, like bro, like where you been? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I found it the easiest when it's like, this is what, first of all, let's agree. And are we picking the color green? Yes or no? If it's a yes, are we now communicating this to both sides of the family? Yeah. If it's a yes, then you go and make sure you tell your mom.
You do the legwork. It's not,
And I'll go make sure I go tell my side of the family as well. And I found that formula worked.
Did you do like group meetings as well?
Not really. Okay. I don't think you need to do that. I think that's where sometimes, and then everybody's family is different.
Everyone's
so culture aside, families are so different. And so I do feel like...
But with culture...
It can get long.
Your family sounds really chilled.
Yeah, my
if they didn't feel the
Nigerian
need,
family though, to be fair, so
if they didn't feel the need to have a meeting, I'm telling you, some people physically feel the need. No.
So my husband's side, they had loads and loads of meetings, but that was on his side, and they were happy. I didn't need to come to that. Yeah. I was more than welcome to,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a mandatory, like the bride needs to be there. I think we had very clear and respectful boundaries, but I think it can get long though if like you overdo it because some parents are not, they're not all there as well. So imagine now the groom's father comes now and says, okay, I want everybody to wear purple. And the bride is like, well, I'm the bride. Because remember as well, the bride's family, I don't know how many families follow this, but usually it is whatever
it's supposed to be the bride's family.
goes.
But do you know what? I feel like even the examples you're given are the most lightest examples in terms of colour. Yeah. Colour is light.
But that can offend people.
It can offend people.
I've seen people be offended like, nobody told me that. Since when were we wearing purple?
True, but what about even the tradition? How you're going to do that? Especially because, with us, we're marrying into a different culture. Yeah. Like, how are we marrying the two cultures together?
I think that's easier.
Do you think?
I think there's more grace because they already know you don't know.
Some people have grace, but I found it easy personally.
Yeah, I feel like there's more grace.
Yeah, mine was okay. But
I feel like if it's like for like, so if it's Sierra Leone to Sierra Leone or Yoruba to Yoruba,
Yoruba to
they're gonna be like, you should know, and it's like, but my family literally we don't move like that. Do you know what I mean?
What
so
I know,
it can be long for some people.
What I know for a fact is not just through marriage, but just even my profession and understanding dynamics of families and stuff like that. I'm a senior social worker, so like I'm highly experienced when it comes to just the family network in general. And what I've learned, even if you're Nigerian, it's that how you're brought up, what the expectations are within your household, those things can really cause a massive issue just because, and I actually often hear people say, I have to marry a Yoruba guy because I'm a Yoruba girl, because it's just going to make sense. And it's like, no. How you were raised in your house and how he was raised in his house, you just don't, it's not 100% that it's gonna just mesh just like this. Like his mom expects people to lie on the floor.
And
when they're greeting. When your mom's just like, nobody's a god. Your mom's like, no human being's a god. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mom expects you to come home every night. You're not supposed to go anywhere. X, Y, and Z. You had a liberal parent. Do you see what I mean? But all these things come out when the marriage planning it becomes technical,
and that's what I'm saying.
And then offense comes.
Bride and groom sit down together,
100%.
Agree on what you want first of all.
Yeah, what's the message?
Be
what are we
consistent,
saying?
and are you going to stand 10 toes down on that decision? Once you're comfortable with that, you both individually, you know how to handle your side. I know how to handle
and be
my
proactive
side, and manage it that way.
Be proactive.
But I do feel sometimes guys can, from what I've seen and what I've experienced, guys sometimes they don't necessarily always care about all the nitty gritty when it comes to bride.
Like,
exactly, it's not that deep to them. And do you blame them as well for men weddings? They're just marrying their woman, and so long as she's happy,
but that's not
great.
The point. That's not the point. There's a lot more to it.
So sometimes they forget that your mum might want to be involved, or your sisters, or your female family members, or even male family members want to be involved.
Bearing in mind, the next stage might be having kids. The next stage is giving birth. Who's going to be in the birth room? Like, it doesn't just start and end at the wedding. If she's offended now,
then that's it, and they'll hold it forever. So
it's the start of something.
It's important to make sure that you mirror each other. You're aligned.
Definitely.
The communication is clear, and sometimes as well, what I did personally, sometimes I would even go over and actually just like.
Oh, just checking in.
Just communicate.
Hope you're okay,
because
Mom.
at the end of the day, that's the family you're marrying into. So yes, the wedding goes by whatever the bride's family say, but remember, you are the woman marrying into the family, and you just want a peaceful life, really, to be honest.
Just for peace.
Just want peace. Just make sure everyone's happy. Just check in. If the temperature is a bit left, just make sure you make it go back right. Like, that's all I could advise, really. So yes, I don't think she's doing anything wrong by leaning on her mum, grandma, and sister. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But just make sure that whatever it is that you're discussing with them or agreeing with them, the other side of the family or soon to be family is aware, is happy and looped in.
She needs to do something with that mother-in-law just to sort of get things
to balance it out.
Yeah, just have a conversation with her and let her know.
Because some people go like you said, some people go power trips. My wedding, she's not going to tell me what to do.
And sometimes it's not even that. Do you know what? God
Yeah.
forbid I ever had my mother-in-law's all right, but God forbid I had that scenario, because I might offend her when really I'm not thinking in that way. Like, you know how people, do you see what I mean? Like, because remember with my wedding, I just done everything really quickly. There was no sentiment. It was just like, we don't have time. We're planning quite quickly. And then someone's taking offense. Meanwhile, I'm just moving with the emotion. I'm not, I'm not being sentimental.
People are going to take offense anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think the most important thing is just to make sure that the key people don't get offended in the process. Other people that want to be offended, that's between them and God. But
Well, some people are just like to take offense in general. And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
I'm sorry if
Yeah,
that's your
exactly.
experience. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think good luck, girl. Just make sure you're mirroring, you're doing the
It's
right
not
thing.
her, it's her cousin.
Oh, sorry, it's her cousin. Sorry, I'm here advising the
she's
girl.
observed. She's observed it.
Oh,
It's
that
done
her
now.
cousin's upset.
Yeah.
Then she too
No,
as
her
well.
cousin's not upset. Her cousin's mum, who's her auntie, is upset because the bride didn't bring her in.
So she should.
So she's seen it from the outside in.
So she should also chat to her auntie as well, and you get it as a woman to some degree.
Can she though? She needs to know.
I feel like if
the
I
ins and
saw
outs.
one of my, if I had a good enough relationship anyway, I'd just be like, chill.
But she will need to know what's happening on the other side because it might be valid.
True.
Do you know it might actually be valid?
True. Some girls are actually
it might
like
actually
that.
be valid.
Well, we never know. But it's the person that really has to take control of the ship is the
That's
groom.
why I said
it's
the guy.
groom.
Exactly
Yeah,
why I said, what is he doing to bridge the gap?
It's probably nothing.
It's literally that.
It's
what did he do? He didn't bridge the gap, basically. Or he's not bothered enough.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm busy. I got things to do. Just chat to my mum.
No.
You know, guys, I just talk to my mum. No.
Because everyone's emotional right now.
You let me know because you know your mum more than I would know my mum. Yeah. So just bridge the gap. That would have been helpful, I'd say.
Keep it cute and hope for the best. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of The Bride's Room. As always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, Saffie, thank you so much, girl.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. We love you.
I'm coming back soon.
I know you're coming back for these ones to whoop their ass. But no,
guys.
in all seriousness, thank you guys. And yeah, have a lovely evening.